which you do out of box. Okay, I'll give you an example before I stop. I know I've taken a long time. I want to talk to you for days together because I love you all. You are what I was 35 years back. So some other day, definitely I'll plan and come to you and talk to you in detail. And there are some programs which we do for the schools. We can also do that. But I want to give a message to the teachers also sitting here. In Canada, long back, there was an essay competition. In that essay competition, the competition topic was courage. What was that? Courage. If now we take an essay competition and we give you 10-page booklet, all of you will fill up those and you write in your own way what is courage as an essay. There was one guy in that school, I'm talking about the school in Canada, who just wrote, "This is courage," and left the whole paper blank. And when the answer scripts went to the teachers, those teachers are also not, they are different. They are different. They were forced to give full marks, 10 out of 10 to that student who just wrote, "This is courage," and left the paper blank. So with those words, be creative. All the best. May God bless you. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you very much, sir, for sharing your inspiring journey with us. Now I would request our chief guest for today, Professor Nisar Ali, economist of repute, chief consultant to Move Beyond, former advisor, higher education, Jammu and Kashmir, to share his words with us.
Esteemed Samuel Cole Saab, Director of Biscoe and Group of Schools, esteemed Head of the Department, NIT Srinagar, respected Principal of Biscoe School, my dear students, very close to our heart, ladies and gentlemen. At the very outset, I would like to thank organizers of this workshop because this is timely and very urgently needed, required for your learning process and for your career making. I thank them once again for inviting me to this honest function. I remember few years back, we were working with the Brussels, 5-6 countries, group of educationists and experts. I brought them to a few schools, and this particular school is one of them. And we spent some time there. I don't know whether subsequently that in one of my books, which is being completed now, because I have been working for that book for a long time, 12 years, more than 12 years. One of the chapters deals with education in Kashmir. And the missionary schools, in which Biscoe School is one, having played a pioneering role in academics and spread of education in Kashmir at that time, at a time when there was no education at all. Presentation Convent, Biscoe School, St. John's, they had a great role in our earlier times, not to speak of now. And your alumni, when the school started, Dr. Karan Singh, I have mentioned that in detail, and former president of ex-president of Pakistan, late Ayub Khan, his two sons, Gawhar Ayub and I think the second son, Qayyum, they were students here along with Dr. Karan Singh that time in these schools. So in downtown, we had one similar missionary schools, which was in an area where hardly you could find at the time educated people there. So these missionary schools had a great role in spread of education in Kashmir. In fact, Kashmir society owed its debt to these schools which they can never deal. The debt, the gratitude for all times to come. We very recently, a few years back, we started, in fact, Sheikh Inayatullah, he initiated the process. That is, we have seen in Kashmir a very bad situation known as, some people call it conflicts. In any case, we say that we have seen very bad times, very turbulent times, which was not at all a culture of this society. Anyway, societies do see ups and downs, uphills, revolutions, and so on. So this is a part of the history. So myself with a group of some young men, we decided these things will go on with the graphs having different amplitude up and down. But ultimately, what we lose is our youth, our young children, children who are in teens, because they will not find proper guidance, proper channelization. Therefore, why not to spend our time, create an institution, create a platform which would provide a way forward for this particular young budding students. We channelize them to certain professions. This is because of some compulsions. Probably we don't realize or we don't understand. When at an international level, world order changed from, you can say, WTO regime, World Trade Organization scenario, to a new scenario known as uh, WTO regime, from a scenario of trade and tariffs. These were the governing world order. Now, in WTO regime, what is being treated world as one, and the human resource that is being created in the world, they would be free floating commodities, and labor is a very important component of the human resource, which will be in the market, international market, depending on their supply and demand. Therefore, the given change in the world order changed the totally education scenario. During my time, prior to the WTO regime, we were mainly confined to the institution, to the textbooks, to the general reference books, and classroom, offline classrooms. That was a teaching learning process. Presence of teacher was a great source of education to a student. Not only the textbooks, not only the reference books, periodicals and journals. So this interaction between teacher and taught remains in the mind of a taught for a long time. It equally remains in the mind of teachers for a long time. They don't forget their thoughts. Generally, they remember, I sometimes remember the faces which I have seen 40 years back. Because this kind of a relationship bondage is very powerful. As soon as a teacher starts teaching, he or she becomes intelligent enough, to grab the maximum advantage. What they did in 1991, they they removed, in a way, they took away millions of children at the age of skilled institutions, imparting trainings in certain skills, because the computer was now spreading all over the world, and education was getting a new impetus, new thrust. So therefore, they provided this huge millions of people I was heading an economics department in Kashmir University. One fellow came to me, a digital diary by Casio company of Japan. He sold me for 1,700 rupees, and that time, 2006, just 6 or 7 years later, again, some fellow comes with a digital diary, which is, of course, very cheap, not 1,700 rupees. But the first one was written made in Japan. The second one is written made in China. Then these boys, young boys and girls, they were shifted away from schools, institutions, to the skilled schools and institutions. That became a big human human capital, human resource with China, which transformed the whole world, and they captured the whole world market. And today you find all these multinationals who were manufacturers, creators of the goods, even the services, commodities, uh, big gadgets, electronics. They shifted their investments to China because the Chinese labor became cheaper. There was a huge supply of labor within China created by these skills. The same labor in United States and Western Europe was very expensive. Even today is very expensive. So therefore, they prefer to make an investment there in China, shifted their companies, corporations in China, produce their own commodities. IBM, for example, Casio, and so many such corporations manufacture the products in China and then export it to the rest of the world. In this way, these goods became very cheaper and they entered into the international market as a result of this WTO regime and then grabbed the whole international market. Today, it's a different thing that politically United States is feeling that multilateralism is not good because ultimately it's China who has taken over the whole world. So it's very difficult to come out of that. But right now they are integral part of the whole international order. So there are efforts at some level to shift away back to square one, which is, to my opinion, not so possible in the short run. Therefore, along with this education, the skill, imparting skill becomes much more important than a conventional education. While I was in the official assignment of in the higher education, I had designed and drafted 53 skills. These would be radio diagnostic related, soft skills, computer hardware related, other medical technologies, X-rays, etc. Even some skills related to the linguistics. These I had designed at the time, I think 2013 or 14, around that period, for the government approval, with my intention that the skill education must be integral part of the conventional education. And we wanted to provide anybody in the university seeking admission for PG would be mandatory for the candidate to go for second degree education. That is PG diploma in soft skill, PG diploma in X-ray technology, PG diploma in diagnostic technology, PG diploma in some other skills or handicraft skill, etc. So therefore, once you come out of the university, you will not be only masters in botany, master in linguistics, or zoology, or physics, or chemistry. You'll be at the same time one skill degree in your hand. Maybe there's no demand for your education. That is why you find in J&K State, elsewhere also, that the concept that we confront at present is those people who come out of the universities and colleges and schools, to what extent there is a degree of their employability. Do they have a characteristic of employability? When even they move to the Gulf, they seek always experience. Because PG or PhD holders, they may not be required by our times because we need a person to do a really practical on the ground, must have experience of those skills. So therefore, the skill education would be integral part of the conventional education to face the times, to meet the challenges, and to create degree of employability of our human resource that we create in the institutions. It is in this context, myself and Sheikh Inayatullah, with some more colleagues, particularly young minds, I have been working with youth for a long time. We created few experiments successful so far, somewhere in you can imagine potato seed, but Kashmir potato seed that is required because that we need for chips. that's a right raw material for chips which you buy. The potato may be 2 rupees, 3 rupees kgs at the time, but when you buy chips, just 100 grams here in Kashmir in different parts, and we need it with more a change in the thrust. That is because we have now advantage of digital technology. We want to create these sickles based on this. And I thank NIT authorities, particularly SADSA, for giving us a lot of support, and we have memorandum of understanding with NIT. We jointly work there as NIT has provided certain incubation centers. Government of India, we have created at the Government of India level, startups. It is not only here. You find startups in the United States, millions of dollars is know physically where these are existing. These do not exist. That is the difference between sometimes you find here and in other places. So what is primary mover? What is the primary thing that we need to have in mind is that the action, that is everything has to be action based. North American countries, particularly in the United States, my grandchildren are there, though they are citizens there. A small third primary student or fourth class student, their education is they imbibe. They create, let me say, through education, they create genes among these children. What are those genes? That tomorrow you become job creator, not job seeker. This is imbibed in the minds of small children who are in nursery, post nurseries, and primary departments. That's a kind of a education you give them. That is, you have to become a job creator, not job seeker. So we have suffered here terribly on account of this. We produce a huge manpower. If my statistics is correct, there are about 7 to 8 lakh unemployed. And I feel very sorry about it, that PhD degree holders are joining this market. There are many medicine graduates, many engineering graduates in a large numbers. Roughly around 4 to 5,000 engineering graduates come from different parts of the country into the valley. But absorption capacity, you feel handicapped. So what is the solution to this? Since our these students pass out, they come out, no doubt about it. Why they find themselves unemployable is because of, I personally feel, 2 reasons. They don't have counseling right from the beginning. 2, they just have the same education, conventional. Look into the reference book, look in the textbook, attend the teacher's class, qualify the examination, maybe with the first grade, and have a certificate in your hand, participate in convocation, and look for a job. This look for a job is the end result, which personally I believe is a curse. We have to create job, become promoter and entrepreneur. And in India, you find there are huge examples. Ambani could be one example. Even Tata's, look at his biography, read the book. They were the pioneers in promoters and became subsequently big industrialists. So it is this kind of a spirit that we create among the youth, that you don't become a job seeker, you become a job creator. And you have the Facebook gentleman, just in the Harvard premises, he would offer a cup of coffee to few friends. And that gave him idea how to have this interaction, what you call today Facebook. So this becomes, in a way, a nodal center. We did certain exercise, and Inayat has succeeded in roping up. We have a complete trainings. The second dimension of it is what we do, this move beyond. Uh, our youth is generally ignorant about what is around the world. So they need a counseling on that. We have created a data in other parts of the Europe, in America, where you could best fit in. So therefore, you need counseling from this side, which the job Move Beyond is doing. At the same time, if we need certain kind of a skill, then are those skills, so that both skill and conventional education, and you are employable. Then any institution or corporate sector or company or even the government sector, if at all they need, they don't find any difficulty in getting you onto the manpower list. Lack of employability is a pressing problem today we face, and this is how uh, we need to change our this maybe curriculum. We need to change. We have to create this university and college level National Assessment and Accreditation Council (NAC). They grade and they accredit institutions like Europe and America. Once we have it at the secondary and school level,